I never imagined love could echo like laughter, especially hers. The kind that once brought me to life, now cutting clean through whatever was left of my heart. My name's Daniel, 42, an architect from Denver. I'd been married to Laura for 12 years, and for most of them, I believed we were unbreakable. Turns out we weren't immune, just blind. Indifference doesn't crash in overnight. It seeps in slowly. One morning, she stopped kissing me goodbye. Later, she stopped asking how my day was. Our words shrank into necessities: bills, groceries, schedules. I kept telling myself it was a phase. Every marriage hits a rough patch, right? You hold on, you give more, hoping it balances out. But love isn't math. It's an exchange, and when only one person keeps giving, the balance disappears. The night it shattered, the rain came down like the sky was trying to wash the world away. We sat at the dinner table in silence. Only the sound of forks tapping plates. I looked at her, her eyes fixed on her phone, the glow painting her face. Quietly, I said, "Laura, I still love you." She didn't look up. For a second, I thought she hadn't heard. Then she laughed, short, sharp, empty. "That's sweet, Dan," she said, still scrolling. "But maybe it's time you grew up." There's no describing the silence after that. Not the kind you break, the kind that swallows you whole. I stared across the table, searching for the woman I once knew. The one who danced barefoot in our kitchen, who cried at sad movies, who grabbed my hand for no reason. She was gone, replaced by someone colder. Untouchable. That laugh stayed with me. It replayed everywhere, at the gym, in traffic, brushing my teeth. Each time, something inside me hardened. You can only chase someone so long before you realize they want to stay lost. A week later, I met with a lawyer, Robert. Older guy, calm voice, no judgment in his eyes. "You sure about this?" he asked. I nodded. Signing those papers felt unreal, like erasing a life we'd built. Our wedding in Aspen. The first apartment with the leaky faucet. Late nights dreaming up baby names we never used. Every signature felt like burying a ghost. But grief eventually turns into clarity, and I'd reached it. I didn't tell her right away. I just lived as if nothing had changed. We still shared a house, crossed paths in the kitchen, traded empty greetings. Then I started noticing things. Her phone lighting up at midnight, her perfume stronger, her new late nights at work. I didn't need proof anymore. I'd already said goodbye in my heart. 2 weeks later, I asked her to meet for lunch. She came late, sunglasses on though the sky was gray. "Make it quick, Dan. I've got plans." I smiled. "It'll be quick." I slid an envelope across the table. She opened it slowly, eyes scanning the first line. For the first time in months, she actually looked at me. "Divorce papers?" she asked flatly. I nodded. "You laughed when I said I loved you," I said. "So, I figured I'd give you something else to laugh about." She blinked, speechless. The waiter dropped off our drinks. The air between us was thick enough to cut. I didn't wait to see her reaction. I stood, left a 20 on the table, and walked out. Outside, the rain had stopped. The air smelled clean, new. I took a deep breath, the kind you take after holding it far too long. Maybe she called my name behind me. I didn't check. For the first time in years, I didn't need to. I drove for hours that day, the city blurring into open road. My wedding ring sat on the passenger seat, catching sunlight breaking through the clouds. I didn't take it off in anger, just the way you close a chapter. Quietly, deliberately, without ceremony. For days after, Laura said nothing. No calls. No texts. I half expected a storm, a confrontation, a tearful plea. But silence stretched on instead. Funny how peace feels strange after years of chaos. The house, once filled with her voice, now only hummed with the fridge and the sound of my footsteps. I thought it would hurt more, but it didn't. It felt like standing in the ashes of a burned house. Everything destroyed, yet the air finally clear. 3 days later, she appeared at my office. No call. No warning. Just the sharp rhythm of heels across the floor, her eyes hidden behind dark glasses. "You really filed?" she asked, voice trembling beneath a practiced edge. I leaned back in my chair.
Yes.
The papers are real. She exhaled. Not quite a laugh, more like the sound of something cracking. I didn't think you'd actually go through with it. That's the problem, Laura, I said quietly. You never thought I would. Her lips parted, maybe to argue, maybe to apologize, but nothing came. She just stood there, shoulders tense, looking like a stranger wearing the face of the woman I once loved. For a second, I wanted to reach out, to ask why. But then I remembered that night, her laugh slicing through my confession, and the urge disappeared. When she left, I didn't watch her go. I turned back to my screen, opened a new file, and kept working. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. For the first time in years, I felt in control. Weeks slipped by. She moved out quietly, taking half the furniture, most of the pictures, and every trace of what used to be us. The house looked emptier, but lighter, too, like it could finally breathe. Friends reached out, some shocked, some proud. You seem calm about it, one said. I smiled. Calm wasn't right. Acceptance was. One night, I scrolled through old photos, her laughing in the mountains, holding her coffee mug, asleep on the couch with our golden retriever. I didn't feel anger anymore. Just a faint, soft ache. The kind that reminds you, not everything that ends is a tragedy. Some things just run their course. 2 months later, I saw her again, downtown in a small cafe. She looked different. Tired. Human. She smiled faintly. You look good, Dan.
Thanks, I said.
So do you. She hesitated. You really meant it, didn't you? That night you still loved me? I nodded.
Yeah.
I did. She looked down. And now? I took a slow sip of my coffee, warmth settling through me. Now I love the man who finally stopped waiting. There was no bitterness in her eyes this time. Just quiet sadness. She nodded, whispered something I couldn't catch, and walked away. I didn't follow. I didn't need to. The silence between us finally meant peace, not pain. That evening, I stood on my porch watching the sunset spill gold and crimson across the sky. The same sky we used to sit under. The same world, only different now. I thought about how love fades. Not always in fire, but in laughter that cuts too deep, in words that die unsaid, in time that wears down what once felt eternal. I smiled. That same small grin I wore the day I handed her the papers. Not out of victory. Not revenge. Just freedom. Because sometimes, walking away isn't surrender. It's choosing yourself when someone else won't. And that night, for the first time in years, I slept without dreams.